Hello and welcome back to the Left-Handed Crochet Lady. Today we're going to be making these cute chapstick holders, the little tassel on the end, little bead, and a keychain at the top. These are super quick, easy, use your scrap yarn to make these or for the market. All right, let's get started. So you can use worsted weight or lightweight yarn for this, but you will need a 3.5 millimeter hook. Also, and scissors. This is a 12 millimeter bead. I got these at Joanns, and then a tapestry needle, and then your keychain itself, whatever color you ended up getting. I got mine on Amazon, and then a stitch marker, just one stitch marker. All right, okay, so for mine, I'm using the color Charcoal in KC Cotton Essentials yarn. It's a lightweight yarn, but like I said, you can use worsted weight, and so long as you use that 3.5 millimeter hook. You're going to start out by making a magic ring. You can also do a slip stitch ring, which is the slip stitch, chain 5, slip stitch the first chain, but I'm going to do just a magic ring. I think it looks just a little bit better with this, but if you don't know how, not a big deal. You can still do the slip stitch ring. Into your magic ring, you're going to do 7 single crochets. Seven single crochets into the magic ring. Okay, so before you close it all the way shut, I like to just kind of leave it slightly open, just because that first one is a little hard to get into. Same with the slip stitch ring. Make sure you don't close it all the way. Otherwise, it's a little hard to get into that first one. So into that first stitch right here, we're going to do 2 single crochets. So this is the only increase we'll be doing. So 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around. And this is where I like to put my stitch marker, and then I'm going to move it here in this next round, and you'll see why and you'll see where. Okay. You're going to end up with a total of 14 all the way around. So at this point, you can close your ring. If you're doing the magic ring, you can cinch that shut, because you're all the way back around again. Then you're going to take that stitch marker out. And then at this point, we're just going to be doing back loop only single crochets for the rest of the pattern. So back loop only single crochets all the way around, no increases. So you'll have a total of 14 all the way around again. We're not doing any slip stitches at the beginning. Okay. So this is where I like to put my stitch marker again. I only like to put it here just so I can keep track. So this is my first stitch right here. That's my second one. I like to just keep track of kind of where I'm at in the round from when we get to the end, and you'll see why. So I just keep that in there. Don't move it anymore, because you don't need to move it up with your rounds unless it's easier for you. Okay, so back loop only single crochets in the round. Okay, so once you come back around again, at this point what you can do is you can weave in your tail that you just had. Weave that in. And it's nice to do this at the beginning just so you can cut this off, and then you don't have to deal with it anymore for the remainder of the pattern. You just, because you're going to flip it inside out, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. So So just weaving that in now, just to get that taken care of. Right, and then you're gonna clip that. And then again, you're gonna continue to work in the rounds. And I like to flip mine inside out like this, so you can really see the bumps, right? So you can see these bumps right here. You're just gonna keep working round and round and round and round until you have a total of 10 of those bumps, including this one here at the top, okay? So I'll meet you after you've done 10 of those all the way around. You have 10 bumps. You can do 11 too, that's also fine. It's up to you with how deep you want the pocket to be. So 10 or 11 rounds, working all the way around, round and round and round and round, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, so once you count up to 10 of those bumps, you can now take out your stitch marker. You don't need this anymore, so you can just put it to the side. And then into the next stitch, you're going to do just a slip stitch into both of the loops, okay? So a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain up 25. Okay, after you've chained up your 25, you're gonna go back into that same stitch that you just went into, and you're gonna slip stitch again. So just pull all the way through. Okay. And then you can clip this part right here, just enough to where you can weave it in, so you don't need to keep a super long tail or anything, just enough to weave it in. And then you can pull this out. Okay. There's the loop. And then we're gonna make the tassel. So for the tassel, you're gonna wanna cut off at least 5 to 6 inches of a strand. And you're gonna insert your hook into that bottom chain 7 all the way through like that. Wrap your yarn around your hook, pull it all the way through, and then you're going to have 2 strands that are just even on each side of each other. Okay, set that to the side. You're going to get your yarn again, let that hang down from your hand around your 4 fingers. You're going to wrap 5 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to get your scissors again. I try to cut somewhere in the middle-ish as much as I can. It's okay though, you can always like adjust that. Here at this part, you'll see. Okay. Gonna kind of even those out. Then you're gonna place them where in the middle, and you're going to tie, make sure they're even. You're gonna tie a knot here. So just make that real tight, snug, and it will just become part of the tassel itself too. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to show you how we do the gathering up here at the top. So again, you're going to cut off about between 5 and 7 inches of string here. What you're going to do is you're going to make a loop like that, and you're going to place it down onto the tassels. I'll show you, just like this. Have that other end, the shorter end, sticking up, and you'll see why. When you first start, this is a little finicky, just so you know. but you're gonna start wrapping really tightly around your strands, okay? Like I said, it's a little hard to get started. It can be kind of loose at the beginning. It's okay. Just make sure that that loop always stays under where you're wrapping. So you can see my loop is right here. Making sure that you're pulling tight, getting things snug. I keep smacking my hook. Okay. I wrap mine around probably about 5 or 6 times, or at least till it gets to the length where the rest of my tassels are. And then you're gonna just take that string, you're gonna put it into the loop, the end here. We don't pull super tightly on that part, but you are gonna pull on this one that we just left. Remember? See? Watch. See how that just tightens up underneath there? And then you're gonna grab both ends and just snugly pull on those, and you can kind of adjust this at this point just to make sure it's not gathering weird or anything. Okay. And then you can just clip this at the quick. You don't have to do anything with it. It's secure. And then you can trim up your tassels to the length that you want them. I don't like mine super long or anything. And then you have your little tassel in the bottom. Okay? And then you're gonna weave this end in, and then I'll meet you after you get done weaving this end in so I can show you how to attach the bead and the keychain. Okay, so for this part, I do like to use a 2.5 millimeter hook, like an all metal one. But I mean, if you have a 2.5 millimeter hook, that'll work. And then you're gonna take the bead, 12 millimeter bead, and you're going to put the bead onto the hook. It won't fit onto the 3.5, so. And then, this part can be a little tricky, but what I like to do is just kind of grab that middle one right here. And I only go around one loop to pull it through. And then you pull that down all the way through like this, and then make sure you get it like all the way attached to it. And then you can see where I pulled that loop right here, but you can honestly just go like that. And then once we put the keychain on, you'll see it will disappear. You won't see it anymore. So don't get nervous if it looks a little funky at first when you pull it apart, but once you put the keychain on, it's perfect. It works great. Okay, so then you're going to attach this. All you're gonna do is just do a little slip knot. So you put the hook or the loop, the keychain loop on here, and then you feed it all the way through the entire thing, and then trying to get this piece pulled down. Okay, and then you just pull it tight like that, and like I said, you can see that it just disappears where you pulled on the, and then you're done. So these are great, really great to sell at markets, really great for just random little gifts, you know, stocking stuffers. Yeah, I mean, you can use these, all that scrap yarn that you don't know what to do with. These are super awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, subscribe, comment what you'd like to see next. Thanks for joining me.